Hey there, YouTube. I'm going to make a quick video on free will. I've seen this argument pop up around YouTube. I talked to Theoretical Bullshit or Whoop-de-loops, I'm not sure who exactly, about free will for quite a while. We're getting nowhere. But this is my counter-argument to the argument I've been seeing on YouTube a lot. The argument basically is either everything is caused or it's random. So any action we do is either caused by our genetics and our environment, directly so, or if it's not caused, then it's random. Both of these situations are outside of our immediate control, and we're not responsible for them. If everything we do is directly caused by something, then of course we're not responsible. And if it's not caused, then it's random, then how can we be in control of randomness, right? I think this form of reasoning is false based on the original premise. Either something is caused, and if it's not caused, therefore it's random. Okay. I think what's actually true is either something is caused. So if we have A and B, cause A and effect B, either B is caused by A, and if it's not caused by A, I don't think we conclude it's therefore random. I think we can conclude B is indeterminate given A. Now let me further explain this. If A causes B, then every time I have A, I will have B. And yes, that has no room for free will. But just because A doesn't cause B, doesn't mean that B happens randomly. All that it means is that given A, I don't know what B is. Okay? It means that I can't determine B from A. Alright? So, this is different than randomness. Okay, now what's the difference here? What's the main difference here? Well, randomness has the connotation of a lack of intention or purpose. So when I say something is random, I am saying two things. I am saying, one, it's indeterminate, or the effects are indeterminate, and two, these effects have no intention or purpose to them. So this is how their argument works. They replace indetermination with randomness so that they can get the connotation of without intent or purpose. So if you think about our actions and you think about how we work in the world, what would it look like if we were acting randomly? Okay, i.e. without intent or purpose and indeterminately. It would be like this. Okay, just doing randomly, acting randomly. And if we actually acted like that, then yes, I would agree. There's no free will to that. But we don't act randomly. We act with intent, and we act with purpose, and we act intelligently. Okay. Free will can exist if we are acting independent upon our genetics and environment, but still within our intentions and purposes of our will. Okay. So what you would have to argue is that if something is not caused, therefore it has no intention or purpose. And I don't think you can do that. Let me further explain how our psychology works. Generally, psychologists and everyone within that field believes we have what's called a we act based on a biopsychosocial model. Okay. And what determines our actions is biology, sociology, our environment, and our psychology. Okay, so free will is the idea that although our biology and sociology, our environment, determine our actions in a deterministic manner, our mind doesn't necessarily work that way. That we have a consciousness or a mind which can decide for itself to alter our effects and to alter our actions independent of our biology, our environment. Okay, and it's doing this independently of our environment and genetics. But it's not doing this without intention or without purpose, and it's not doing this randomly. It's doing this indeterminately, but not randomly. And I think that's a big jump that's not justified just intuitively. Think about it. Look at yourself. Look at how you act. Are you acting randomly? Are you acting with intent and purpose? I would say yes, I can't determine how you're going to act if I had complete knowledge of all the cells in your body and how your cells work and how the environment affects those cells. No, I wouldn't be able to necessarily predict how you're going to act. But because I can't predict how you're going to act, does not mean you're going to act randomly. You're going to act with intent and with purpose, based on your mind, based on your psychology. And that's where free will comes in. And that's why you're responsible for your actions, because you intend for them to be so. And we intuitively understand this, actually, which is why when we have laws, minors are treated differently than adults, because we understand their psychology hasn't developed to the state of an adult. They can't necessarily look at their actions or reflect on their actions and control their actions, because their actions and emotions are running wild. Okay? They're acting in a deterministic fashion. They're acting the way they feel like. They don't have the psychology to control themselves. Therefore, they're not responsible for their actions, and we understand that. That's why we treat minors differently than adults. We also treat people with mental illnesses differently. Okay? We understand that they're acting somewhat randomly. They're acting somewhat deterministically. They can't necessarily control their impulses and their desires based on their psychology and environment. They're not as responsible for their actions as a sane adult would. Okay? So that's why we have free will. We are acting indeterminately, but we are doing so with intent and purpose. And I think to argue that there is no free will, you have to argue that we are acting without intent or purpose. And I'm not sure how well you could do that intuitively. Alright, hope that helps.